2 years ago, we put a special video together on this channel detailing why Eddie Howe is the man to take Newcastle United forward. It's fair to say that at the time, there were many of them that were fairly sceptical. Fast forward 2 years though, and I think it's safe to say they're more than okay. However, we are hoping he goes home utterly depressed on Saturday as AFC Bournemouth entertain the Geordies in a 5:30 kickoff at Dean Court. It's AFC Bournemouth versus Newcastle United. This is the big match preview. This is Back of the Net. My name's Sam.
My name's Tom.
We're an AFC Bournemouth fan channel, but look, if you're a Newcastle fan and you want us to go on about Eddie Howe, look, there was a video that we put out yesterday with Adam Pearson. We talk about him a fair bit on there. And look, we could wax lyrical about our special one, but we're not going to. We'll tip our hats. That's what we will do. But look, it's absolutely crucial that AFC Bournemouth season gets back on track after our last game. So, can we do it? Well, look, this is the league table at the moment. We'll go straight into it. And Tom, I'm sorry that you have to see this, but
league table.
Bournemouth are below the dotted line. Newcastle, though, I think their fans will be pretty pleased with where they are in the league. It's just their Champions League table that isn't looking so pretty.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, really. I think the back-to-back Dortmund games have hurt them because I think before then they're obviously in a decent position. I think if they won one of them games, they'd have gone 6th in the Premier League, doing all right in the Champions League. They'd definitely taken it, but yeah, the injuries have hurt them a bit, and when you're playing against quality opposition in the Champions League, it's going to affect things. Eddie's doing his usual, trying to get the best out of every player, squeezing every bit he can. But I don't know, I think they'll be okay in the Champions League. I think PSG away is tough. I think they'll win that last game against Milan. They're at home. And worst case scenario, I still think they'll get third. And that takes you obviously into the Europa League, where I think they'd have a chance of winning it. So that wouldn't be that bad. So yeah, I think they're doing all right, mate, considering so many injuries.
They are so depleted.
Wow.
If you are a Newcastle United fan and you're not subscribed, we're going to give you a few reasons to, because on this channel we put out a number of videos. I'm sure we'll talk about your club, not least the fan cams at full time, mate.
Yeah, fan cams after the game. We'll obviously be reflecting on our 3 points, but still, obviously waxing lyrical about Eddie. Match day vlog, come out the next day, so that'll be a good one. Then we'll do the second look and the podcast, talking about it in a little bit more detail. Then we'll do the Premier League show, so you get to see everything in the Premier League, and we do that all the time. So Newcastle, it's been on the agenda a few times, hasn't it? So yeah, lots to look forward to. And then it's a international break.
International break, not so good. So, do you remember the last time we played Newcastle at home? I do. Here's what happened. Bournemouth corner. Now let's get a good delivery here. It's not bad. It's near post. Breakaway. And look what happens. Just before half time. Worst time to concede. Good save originally by Neto, but then the follow up. Newcastle. A level. Yeah, so that was also a televised fixture, and it was the return of Eddie Howe. And it's fair to say, mate, we were all a little bit emotional. Is it worth giving Newcastle fans a little synopsis on just what this man means to our football club?
Cool.
Or do they already know?
I mean, they probably know a fair bit now. I'm sure they've heard enough from Bournemouth fans and through just looking into Eddie Howe over the years he's been there now. He's been there a couple of years, hasn't he? But yeah, I mean, it's self-explanatory, really. I always say it, but if since Eddie Howe come to Bournemouth and where he is now, you would, if it was a film, you'd say it's too far-fetched, it's too unrealistic. So yeah, just can't speak highly enough of the guy. And it's really weird. It is still weird, I feel, going into a game wanting his team to lose. It is odd. And let's not just Eddie Howe, Mad Dog, old JT next to him, and a few other members of staff as well with Purchase and Weatherstone, and I think they've even got Schwan Jalal there, haven't they? Our ex-keeper. So yeah, Newcastle, obviously some players as well. A team we always going to think fondly of while them lot are at the club, but just this weekend I'd want them to have a bit of a slip up.
So we took the lead in that game, and then Miggy Almiron scored in front of our North stand. But you know what? I would take a point this time. But then based on injuries and the players they've got out, they've got about £270 million worth of players not available for this fixture. Most Bournemouth fans are thinking, actually, this is probably a good time to be playing them. And it seems to be, for Bournemouth, we never play teams at a very good time, but this probably is.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I think there's probably a lot of people going, I wish we were playing like, say, United now, because they'll probably get better, so you want to play them then, etc. And yeah, I think whatever, Newcastle, whatever team they put out will still be a strong enough team to beat Bournemouth, let's be real. And it's not exactly like they're playing a Bournemouth side full of confidence. We've just got it for 6. But from a Bournemouth perspective, we have got to look at this game and go, you're not going to get a better chance to play Newcastle. They've just been to Germany, and they've got so many injuries and a few suspensions. I think one of the suspensions, Bruno Guimaraes, he was suspended the first time we played Newcastle last season.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Weird one, but he's a quality player, so you've got to take it. So yeah, we've got to look at it as we're going to have no better time to beat them, really. So we've got to look at that, or at least get a point. So yeah, we've got to take any positive that we can find at the moment, because it's been a difficult start to the season for us.
So in Eddie's first full season in charge at Newcastle United's team, as we know, finished in 4th place. They could have finished 3rd had they beaten Leicester. On Black. It was a 0-0, and they should have beaten them. They were absolutely banging down at that door, but just couldn't score. Leicester, of course, were fighting for their lives, but it was their highest finish since the 2002-2003 season under Bobby Robson, where they finished 3rd. But points-wise, they were too short of last season. So Newcastle United, fair play under Eddie and the boys. They have been doing so well. And over the summer, mate, they have made some signings. They've let go of some players, and he's stamped his authority over this team. But what's the thing that I tend to see with Newcastle more than anything? I know that people talk about the Saudi takeover and the fact that they're state-owned and all this kind of stuff. Some of the players that they've got playing for them are ones that were not performing under the god that was Steve Bruce before. And it's fair to say Eddie Howe's man management of these players has brought them on to new levels. And it's certainly helped by some of the new transfers that they've got in as well. Yeah,
no, definitely. And I think that goes back to when he first went into the football club. And Newcastle fans, as you mentioned at the top of the show, were somewhat sceptical because they knew what the players they had. They thought, well, we're going to go down with this group. But he got the best out of them. And that's what Eddie Howe does. I mean, I think probably the best example is Joe Linton. Was a bit of a joke, really, wasn't he? Until Eddie Howe come in. Now he's pivotal. Miggy Almiron as well. And yeah, they've spent some money, but on young players that it'll improve, in my opinion. Tonali, obviously, we know the situation there, which is a shame, but we know he's going to be a good player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Harvey Barnes, good signing. Both of them not available, obviously, for this game. Livramento is now at player feel if it was their best player against Dortmund. And whether he plays on the wing or at fullback against us, he'll probably be playing. He'll probably get a few jeers from Bournemouth fans, Newcastle fans. If you're not aware, that is just because you obviously signed him from Southampton. Lewis Hall as well. I think he could start. So but these are young players that he obviously sees long term.
Yeah.
And he got rid of mainly Deadwood. I think they all liked St Maximum, didn't they? But it was always going to happen, I think. And then really it was just kind of them Deadwood type players of Kieran Clark, Jeff Hendrick, Jamal Lewis. Right, I mean, they just get him out of the football club, Ryan Fraser. Brilliant Eddie, by the way, how he dealt with that. He come in and went, Fraser, help me a little bit. I respect you. You can help us stay up. Ditch him in the reserves. Only put him on the bench for the Bournemouth game so we could slaughter him all game and then sell him. Love it. But yeah, he's done the kind of business that I expected. I think people looked at the money they had available and thought they'd get all these, shiny new things and that. And I think, no, he's still recruiting sensibly, and you've got to be a certain type of player and character to play for an Eddie Howe team, in my opinion. So yeah, I kind of expected the sort of business he's done. And but yeah, most importantly, he'll get the best out of the players he's got.
Yeah, so talk me through their season then, mate, because, I mean, it started off with an absolute bang, didn't it? They got an incredible result against Aston Villa. They did so well, smashing them 5-1, but then it felt like the wheels came off a little bit.
A little bit, but the like you say, they were brilliant against Villa, who have obviously done well since. But then the fixtures were horrible, weren't they? Obviously went to Man City, were unlucky. Well, I say unlucky, they didn't get beaten heavily, which certain teams can. The Newcastle game, they should have won that game. But it's still a different game. Newcastle game, the Liverpool game. And then Brighton, you thought, this is a tough place to go, but Newcastle probably have enough, and Brighton were too strong. And you thought, okay, have the wheels fallen off, as you said, or was the fixtures so hard? And it turned out that it was more of the fixture list, because they got the result against Brentford when I feel like they needed to. Good point, San Siro, and then they went and absolutely blitzed Sheffield United, didn't they? And then obviously beat City in the Cup, which was very impressive. Which, I'd like to thank Newcastle, because that made a little thing for us is we got further than Man City in the Carabao Cup.
Small wins.
Small wins for us. Beat Burnley pretty comprehensively, didn't they? The win against PSG was just incredible. I watched that game and it was just, God, they were having a whale of a time, and I was sat there going, oh, look at this is just unbelievable, isn't it? I was buzzing for Eddie. Followed it up with, a decent point at West Ham, I think, after that PSG game. I think you put that into context. And then, smash Palace. Didn't perform brilliantly against Dortmund at home, but they did have some chances, didn't they, at the end? And again, the Wolves draw, you think, Newcastle would have done us a favour. Should be winning them, but off the back of Dortmund. Now, this is what's going to happen now. They're probably going to have to, with this Europe and with the injuries they've got, it's going to play a part. But smashed United in the Carabao Cup with players like Matt Ritchie and Paul Dummett in that playing, and the Arsenal game, which obviously had a lot of controversy in it, they got the job done. And it was just a disappointment for them in the week that they couldn't quite do it over Dortmund. But as I say, it all goes back to the players they've got available at the moment. It's going to make it difficult against them calibre of opposition. And with the players they've got out, they'll only be expecting really to get results against the likes of ourselves. But we've got to look at it and go, no, this is a really good time to play.
So in terms of our head-to-head then, let's take a look at that. I mean, recently, in the last sort of 5-6 years, it's not been too pretty. Our last win against them, 4th of November 2017. Look at that. We'd have sort of a fairly successful mini spell against them, didn't we?
Especially at St James's. I remember going there a few times.
Never beaten them on our own turf, though.
Have we never beaten? Oh, that's
well, okay. Back at the old Dean Court in 1989.
Remember it well. I just had this. Was there 2 back-to-back away from home? I remember going there. Yeah, because we won. I think we might have even got McLaren the sack.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Daniels at the end, and that virtually kept us up, if I remember. Or it felt like we were going to stay up. It was our first Prem season, wasn't it? And then the last-minute Steve Cook header. So I remember having a few, and it felt like last season in the league that even though we didn't win, it felt like a massive point, didn't it? Was it Billin? Yeah, 1-1 draw. So I feel like I've had some good ones at St James's, mate. To be honest with you, but as you say, at home we haven't been as strong for whatever reason. I remember feeling like we were going to win at one point, and Matt Ritchie popped up, didn't he? Yeah,
he did with a really good goal. That was 2-2, wasn't it? I remember that one well. So in all our home games against Newcastle United, AFC Bournemouth have won 1, drawn 3, lost 2. In all competitions, won 4, drawn 6, lost 7. So it's not...
That needs to go 5, 6, 7, doesn't it?
It does.
It does.
It does.
We'll sort it out.
Let's hope that happens. Now, we took a look at the average positions of the Newcastle United starting lineups over the last 4 games, and what caught our eye is how narrow that Newcastle have been playing. So potentially there's chance for our wide men to have some joy tomorrow. Look, there you can see the average positions for the past 4 games, and look, we've got plenty of wingers that we can choose from at AFC Bournemouth. Now, for them, talk me through the players that they have got available, haven't got available, mate, because, I mean, we know that Tonali has been banned from competitive football for a reported 10 months, is that right?
Something like that,
Bruno Guimaraes suspended. And then what happened in the week in the Champions League?
Yeah, Callum Wilson looked like he'd felt his hamstring, according to Eddie, and I can't see, hopefully for them, for Callum, he's in the England squad. Hopefully he's all right. I reckon he'll get pulled out of that. But I just can't see if he's even if he's just felt his hamstring on Tuesday, that he's gonna start him on Saturday. I just can't see it. And with an international break that, like you say, you probably pull out of, it gives them a bit of time to then get back. And with the injuries they've got, they can't really take the risk. But I'm going to try and do it now off the top of my head. I'm not even going to look at anything if you've got it down, because there's no way I'm going to remember all the players out because they've got so many, honestly.
So Bruno Guimaraes got 5 yellows, right?
Yeah, 5 yellows Bruno. Tonali, we all know why. Just mentioned Callum Wilson. Dan Burn is out. His understudy Matt Targett is out. Sven Botman is out. Right, hang on. Harvey Barnes is out. Isak is out. It's definitely another centre midfielder. Who am I forgetting in centre midfield? Elliot Anderson is out. Jacob Murphy is out.
It's there, Tom. You can look at it if you want.
Javier Manquillo, that doesn't count. I've basically got them all. He doesn't play anyway. So I've pretty much nailed that. But yeah, it's more the fact that you have Dan Burn out. You go, oh, that's not great, but we'll play Target. He's out, and it's like, oh, we've got no Isak. Okay, we'll play Wilson. He's out. It's the fact that they're like kind of understudy to understudy. They're all out. So yeah, good time to play them. But they've got enough in the 11. We'll come on to what the predicted team is. It's the fact that, as you saw against Dortmund, they've got no one to bring on really. I mean, they did decide to use Almiron and Gordon off the bench. But apart from that, I think it was literally Paul Dummett, and then it was a couple of goalkeepers, and then youngsters like Miley, I think there was a Parkinson who I've never heard of before. Yeah, just youngsters on the bench. So yeah, difficult one for him. But I think Eddie will probably be looking at it, get through this Bournemouth game, try and nick something. And then we've got the break, try and get a few bodies back at least. I've heard that there's positive news on Harvey Barnes that he might come back earlier than expected, which is good for him. But this is exactly how I would want it from a selfish point of view. Them be really depleted for when they play us, but then get them all back because obviously they're pretty much Bournemouth fans, second team, aren't they? So, but as we keep saying, mate, we've got to take it as a massive positive and a real opportunity.
Huge game for Andoni Iraola, and there seems to be some news emanating from the club yesterday. Unconfirmed, I think it was Pete O'Rourke, wasn't it, from Footy Insider? I think he was a tabloid journalist with someone at some point, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he might have been Sky Sports at one
maybe
point.
Sky Sports. Yeah. About Richard Hughes working his notice at the club. Obviously responsible for player recruitment. We don't know too much about that at this stage. Seems to be a big decision that's been made, obviously from the very top by Bill Foley. Maybe, if that is the case, maybe he's unimpressed with our start to the season and realising that, well, some of the players that we've got in haven't hit the ground running. Yeah,
it depends what the reason is, but I think it probably goes back. They'll probably look at it as going back further than when Foley was even here. So in terms of, just say for argument's sake here, just to make the point I want to make, that if they had said, right, because it isn't at the moment, so if they go, it isn't working with Iraola, and Hughes was still there, you'd go, so Rich Hughes has overseen Jason Tindall, got rid of him. Jonathan Woodgate, got rid of him. Scott Parker, got rid of him. Gary O'Neill, got rid of him. If there was another one, you'd go, at some point here, we need to go, how's this man still at the job? If all of the, do you know what I mean? And that's not me trying to have a go. I'm just saying, from a business point of view and an ownership, we all know that we like to think the playing staff we're trying to improve it. We're improving all areas, staffing, coaching. Well, we're hoping to anyway. Even outside of the club, with training facility, stadium eventually, and blah blah blah. The only thing that we're not upgrading is that. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me too much. I think it'd come out of the blue a little bit. But we'll have to see. But I think that probably backs Iraola a little bit more, that they think, actually, no, we've got a bloody good coach here. I think, some of the others, you go, O'Neill, whatever you think of him, it was still a gamble with no real CV. Same with Woodgate, same with Tindall. Parker was different ownership. It was a different turn of events in terms of, it was more what he was saying rather than him as a coach. So this is the first time we've gone, no, hang on a minute, we've got a coach with a bloody good CV, so something else ain't right. So that's what I'm looking at the moment, and I always felt like if it didn't work this season, or partly way through the season, they were going to get looked at. New ownership are going to look everywhere, not just certain areas. They're going to look all round, and it might be a domino effect, we don't know. But interesting news anyway, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Hughesy. But he was a player for us, left as a player, come back as a player, come back in as a translator. Then he's commenting out a lot, so he might end up playing defensive midfield at some point.
You never know.
Who knows? But we'll see what happens with that one before. I don't want to be like really overly critical or anything like that, because we don't know the ins and outs. But we've got to back the owner's decision, and it's their money, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to know who the referee is for tomorrow? No. I'll give you a clue. He can make you feel good. Oh, who sang that? Kavanagh. Oh, hang on. Is it Graham Kavanagh? Chris Kavanagh. Oh, who's Graham Kavanagh? I want to type in Graham Kavanagh while you talk about him. Chris Kavanagh is in charge for this game. We had him 3 times last season. First away at Arsenal. Away at Arsenal. Oh, great. Do you remember Graham Kavanagh? Centre mid He played a lot of his career at Cardiff, I think. That's where I've got his name. You'll recognise him straight away. Sorry if you can't see it. Oh, you'll remember this guy.
Yeah, I do remember him.
Remember him?
Yeah, I do remember him.
Yeah, proper stalwart. So that's why Graham come to my head. Away at Arsenal.
Yeah, home against Leeds.
Oh,
that was good. And home against Manchester United.
Oh, fucking hell.
Should we do our predicted teams?
Yeah.
Tom has put together his 11 in a 4-2-3-1. Have you got a goal then? What?
Mark Travers. I've got a feeling. And that's not anything against Radu. I've just got this feeling that whether they were any his fault or not, that's an argument to be had, I guess. And it certainly wasn't the reason we lost the game. But there can't be... Travers has got to get an opportunity at some point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's been on bloody good form, yes, in the Championship, but he's a keeper actually probably got a bit of confidence, which none of our other keepers have got. He's got to look at him at some point. We've just let in 6. It's an opportunity, and it'll get the crowd. I just got a feeling. There's no reasoning apart from I just got a feeling. Superman Travers in goal. Yeah, got a feeling.
Across the back?
Yeah, I'm going to make a change here as well. Aaron's at right back. We're going back to 4, obviously. Aaron's at right back. I think, whether I would or not, I'm not sure, but I think he's going to go Zabani and Kelly.
Mepham dropped again.
Yeah, I think he's going to play Kirkes again. I just feel like because of the injuries Newcastle have got, I don't think he'll want to put Kelly at left back at home again. It could easily be Mepham and Kelly left back. Kelly will play. But I've just got a feeling he's going to put Kelly and Zabani and play Kirkes and try and get him up the pitch and be a bit more front foot because of the injuries they've got. Hope to maybe start fast, get the lead, and then you've always got that option of a Meps or even a Celessi to come on, Kelly to go out there. But that's what I'm going to go with. Aaron, Zabani, Kelly, Kirkes.
And the fact that they are playing narrow at the moment indicates that Aarons and Kirkes may have some joy down those flanks as well. So yeah, I'm on board with that. Okay, the 2 in front of that.
Lewis Cook will come back in. He's been rested, so he'll play deeper. I think Billing will probably be a little bit deeper, because I would quite like Cook, Rothwell, Billing in front.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be Cook, Billing, Christie in front.
Rothwell, I thought, did really well when he came on against Manchester City. He did really well.
Yeah, I think he is. But, I would also argue the point that, okay, Rothwell's come on and done quite well in a few games. When he started, he wasn't as good. So maybe you can go, maybe he is a decent option off the bench. But, yeah, I think he's going to go Cook and Billing with Christie in front because of his press. Tavernier off that right side, Semenyo off the left, both coming in. They can obviously alternate, but I think them both coming in, a bit more of a goal threat, particularly Semenyo, and Dom Solanke leading the line. That's what I'm going to go with, mate. But there's a shout for Sinistera.
Yeah, there is a shout.
But I just think Tavernier and Semenyo have got to play for me.
Interestingly, I saw someone put together their predicted or chosen Bournemouth 11, and Mark Billing put in one of the replies, Phil is best in his number 10 position. If you want to get the numbers, then put Phil there.
So I agree, by the way.
This is all to do with the options around it.
Even if you want to, I've said this before, I think, but just say, for example, Christie has to play because, say Herrera comes out and goes, I have to play Christie for his press. Then I'd go, okay, I would actually take out a Semenyo or Tavernier. Yeah. And I'd just put Christie off a wide position for his press because you've got to have Bill in advance.
Yeah, I agree.
But I just think that I do think he'll stick with that and play Bill a little bit deeper, unfortunately.
Right, on to Newcastle then in a 4-3-3. Yeah. I'm really interested to know. I mean, I suppose there's not many other options really. In the week in the Champions League, they had a lot of youth on the bench. That's how bad it is for them. Yeah. But Nick Pope's all right though, isn't he?
Pope's fine. I think if Callum Wilson is out, then I can't see how I'm not going to get this 11 out of 11. Because I'll say after the only other players that I can think are available that could start. So Pope in goal, back 4. He could play either fullback at either side because they can both play right and do a job at left, but they're both right backs. So I'm just going to start with Trippier at right back and say he's going to play Livramento off the left, Shah and Lascelles centre halves, Willock, Longstaff and Lewis Hall. Yeah, okay. In midfield, Almiron, Gordon, Joe Linton. As I say, Almiron will be off the right. I think it'll probably go Gordon through the middle, Joe Linton off the left. He could switch them two. Wow. And I think this 11, if Callum's out, is the only 11 they can go with. The only caveat is really you could put Hall at left back. You could put Livramento in a wide position and put Joe Linton. You can mix all these positionally up. But the only other options, obviously this is if Wilson's out, is Paul Dummett. Yeah. Can't see him starting, and Matt Ritchie. everyone else's youth team. So
That's unbelievable.
And then the goalkeepers. So yeah, I just think this has to be the team. But there is flexibility in there, as I say. Hall started against Dortmund as a left back, and he played Livramento in a wide position of a front three, so that could be an option. But whether I've got them positionally correct, I'm not sure. But I can't see how that's not the 11, so I'm hoping to get 11 out of 11 on that one.
We're going to have to seize our opportunity to get a result in this one. I mean, this is there's no better time, isn't there? And look, the crowd need to get behind the boys. Not too much Eddie Howe loving, please. I mean, I'm sure we'll sing his name at the end. We'll give him a. Oh?
Can I not wear my face mask?
No, you cannot wear your face mask. We'll give him a rapturous reception. I'm absolutely certain, and afterwards, we'll,
I don't even care.
But I just want to.
I love him.
I want to have him. Okay, what? Can you remember this? I don't know. Can you remember the last time he left Dean Court on the losing side?
Well, it would have been COVID, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I know what you're going to tell me now.
What?
Scummers, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, he was, during that time, during those like 9 games or whatever, behind closed doors in that season that was stopped due to COVID and then carried on, Project Restart and all that. He did face Newcastle. We got battered 4-1.
Yeah.
But the last game at Dean Court was against Saints. That was the last time he left Dean Court. Hopefully, he'll be leaving Dean Court unhappy on Saturday.
Why have you just brought that up?
Well, what? Why not?
Oh, let's just bring up the fact that we lost to Southampton.
It doesn't matter.
Come
We're going to win on Saturday. Do you think we'll win, by the way? Do you?
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, them.
Yeah. Do you put your predictions in the comments below. We'd love to know what you're thinking. We read every single one. Surely this is our best opportunity. Tom, I'll come to you. What are you going for?
I've never... Last season when we didn't lose to Newcastle both times, and I was really happy with 2 draws, obviously, with how the season they had. I never predicted us to win.
Right. And
we got 2 draws, so I don't want to predict the win. Because if I predict the win, it might go reverse.
Oh, stop all this reverse psychology.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go for it. So what was the score last season at home?
1-1.
What was the score last season away?
1-1.
1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go for 2-0 Bournemouth win. 2-0.
Neil. Oh, Travers.
Yeah, Mark Travers.
Yeah, fair play.
That's what I'm going for. Let us know what you think.
Come
Look,
on.
if this preview looks a bit different, it's because we're recording, not on our usual camera. So can I tell you a story about the camera?
Oh, God. Go on then. Yeah.
Rest in peace, camera.
Oh.
You know, we were talking about is the camera camera rain damaged? It is. We're recording this on a phone. If you want to help us with our Ko-fi to grab a new one and support the channel at the same time, we truly appreciate anyone that gets behind us.
It's not good living in England because every time it rains, I go, that's more money gone. Every time it rains.
You can go to afcbpodcast.com/coffee. It takes you to our Ko-fi. Monthlies on that. If you do it, you can do a one-off if you want to help us. But a monthly, if you can be a monthly, you'll get put into our Telegram group as well for some exclusive content, first look content, player rating show from Tom on the day after the game as well. So if you want to help us out right now, that'd be appreciated. And then we can buy... it doesn't even switch on.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't even switch on.
Oh, God.
I've got a spare, and even that one is not great.
It's temperamental, isn't it, the other one? Yeah. Yeah, no, I appreciate any support we get, but...
why do we do this
channel? I bet it's due to rain, isn't it, the weekend?
No, it's not. It's sunny.
Oh, we're right.
Why do we do this channel? Why do we to lose money. That's what we do.
Lose money, lose football matches.
Yeah.
Not losing the old sub, so we love you.
Thank you so much. Oh yeah, big shout out. We went over a milestone. And
did we?
I think so. Yeah.
Over 14 now.
14.
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate that.
Really appreciate that. That one sort of we didn't.
That's 14.
We never talk about numbers. We never look at them, and then all of a sudden I go onto the channel. So when did that happen?
Days,
so yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
We're gonna win.
We're gonna win.
Oh my God, let's win. Actually, I feel that.
Hopefully we do. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you at Dean Court. Remember, it's a 5:30 kickoff, so Tom will be in the Brunny a bit later on than usual.
I'll be in there for the early kickoff, baby. Come on.
Grab the chairs.
Come on. Oh, I can't, can I?